Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Yeah. Oh, it feels like old school tonight. To my left, your right, my brother from another mother, Dizzy, is joining me tonight.
What's happening? What is going on?
We got a little cold brew getting us through this one. It's late on a Sunday. I know you got to get up at the ass crack of dawn. Stuff's going on.
For show. But how about this show tonight, man? That was incredible.
Dude, I know TK gets a lot of flack for certain things, and it's all just armchair, guys sitting in their armchair bitching about this, bitching about that because they ran out of fucking Cheetos in their mom's basement. But let me tell you something, man. He put on a hell of a show tonight. I don't care what anyone says.
He really did.
This is gonna go down as one of the best shows of the year. Let me tell you. It may not rival, something like WrestleMania, but it's gonna go down as one of the best shows of the year.
And honestly, I think the big thing for me, at least, is at the end of the pay-per-view or while before the match, before the main event, all these legends start coming out, and that's something that I'm thinking, okay, this is really cool, Tony Khan. You really did your homework. You really understood where Sting came from and all the people that he's worked with and all the people that have impacted his career. And I'm sure Sting said, hey, invite these folks on, and props to Tony Khan, man. Big props for Tony Khan.
Hell yeah, dude. And I'm sure, Tony Khan worked it out with Sting, who he wanted at ringside.
Right.
And he had some special guests there. It looked like Scotty Riggs was there.
Nikita Koloff.
Magnum TA.
Yeah, that was impressive. And then you had, Ricky Steamboat. You had Ric Flair come out, and
Flair,
we knew Flair would be there, but
yeah,
it's still nice to see him, and props on Flair for taking a bump, man.
Dude, he just
like that man just will not give up. That man will not retire. He would even if he's retired, he's just not going to give up. He thinks he can just he's a tank,
Yeah.
But it was interesting, to say the least. Having Sting's sons come out with him and dressed up as, Wolfpack Sting and what is that?
Sting.
Yeah.
With the high top fade,
with high top fade for a minute when he first came out, I thought that was Sting. I'm like, oh my god, they put a wig on him, and here we go. But
I had a feeling he was going to do something like this or something nostalgic, because Chris Jericho did something like this when he had celebrated his 20th year in the industry with AEW. He had a couple different versions of Jericho come out, different looks, like short hair with the list, and then like the lion heart or whatever, different versions of Jericho.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but it was a remarkable evening. It was one that will definitely go in the history books of AEW. And honestly, man, props to Tony Khan for putting on one hell of a show, in Greensboro, where it pretty much all started for Sting,
Yeah, talk about going full circle. Hell yeah. And look, we're not going to spend too much time tonight, but I do want to run down the card here, and we'll get our thoughts on most of these matches, some of the matches, some of these,
because a lot of them, I mean, there were a handful that were just I wasn't a fan of. And I know they weren't like key matches of the evening. So there were some really big key matches of the evening.
Yeah.
That
so as we get into this, you folks watching, make sure you smash that like button, smash that sub button if you're digging the content.
Absolutely.
Spine chilling cinema. What is up, brother? How are you doing? You guys want to check out some like the classic olds, everyone makes fun of like Tony Storm and her gimmick for the old school black and white. You guys want to check out some cool black and white films from the heyday of like the beginning of horror cinema? Go to Spine Chilling Cinema, and you'll see stuff on there you probably never heard of in your life, but man, it's just fun to be like, wow, what the hell is this? But that's like, it's the birth of horror, the black and white cinemas, So thanks for joining me, dude. It's good to see you here. Yeah, let's jump into some of this. Well, Ospreay. We can kind of around here. I see Will Ospreay definitely getting some love here. Would you say Ospreay and Takeshita match of the night?
Yeah, that was easily the match of the night. So many good. I mean, that match was just spot on. Both of those guys just really brought it, man. And Will Ospreay just proved that he could do it. And I don't know, did you see the bruise on Ospreay on his lower back? Is
towards
that
the end of the match?
Yeah. So was that is it just a bruise? Because we were talking in a separate chat on Facebook, you and I and the rest of the guys from Ramblers Unleashed, and Max Mages actually said that could possibly be an injury to his hip, thinking maybe it was something with his ribs. Like, did he break his ribs? So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
He was in the corner, and I know Takeshita flipped him around, and I'm pretty sure he didn't quite land how he wanted Ospreay to land, but so he actually landed on his back, and his back skidded on the rope. Oh my God, Dizzy, we're not alone.
We're not. No,
we're not. Should we let him in?
Oh boy, let's go. I don't even know who it is. Let's go.
What is
up?
Oh
my God, it's Max freaking Mages.
Sad guy, Max. Why are you sad, Max?
Because I'm in Missouri for a funeral.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But for my own morale, I thought I'd join you guys for a few minutes, even though I didn't get to see the pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, then just if you're gonna join us, just sit like this. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Right.
No, not like.
We were actually just talking about you, Max. We were talking about the Will Ospreay match, and I shared photos of Will's back in the Facebook chat. And you were saying something pretty interesting. You said that it could possibly be his ribs, but then you think it's his hip. What are your thoughts on that, dude?
The picture you sent, just the size and the coloration of that bruise, he has got to have some sort of internal injury, and where it's at almost looks like it's his hip. I hope that they get him to a doctor tonight and get that checked out, because that looks pretty serious.
And it was starting. I don't know if you guys caught this, but it was starting to like grow. It was starting to like radiate up his back, and it was getting darker. So, and I didn't even see the spot, so I don't know how he got it. I know it was off the top turnbuckle, right, J-Bone?
Yeah, his back skidded off the top rope, and that's where the burn came from. But it's also where the bruising is going to come from, especially how hard he came off the rope. So I mean, it could be some internal. They were talking about your kidneys are right there. We'll see.
Yeah.
Listen, Flippy Dude guy, we got lots of respect for you. Please go get checked out.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God, that match gave me so much respect for Will Ospreay. It was just so good, such a good match.
If you guys want to see another pair of good matches, win or lose, I say win or lose because he won one and he lost one. But go check out the matches he had with Josh Alexander when he had his cup of coffee in TNA at the beginning. What was it in towards the end of the so it was he had one at Bound for Glory and then he had one in the beginning of the year, and I was witness to one of them, and it was phenomenal. I met Will, great guy, such a good you talk to some people and you can tell they're genuinely like happy with what they're doing. Dude, he was just so genuinely cool to talk to. You even though it was short, it was great. Good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy, Will Ospreay. So yeah, definitely honors for match of the night there. Of course, close would be, I'm sure, fans with the nostalgia of the evening would say the main event. Let's talk about that main event, man. Sting, geez Louise, just no limits. Even in his last match, busting glass.
Oh yeah.
Now we can get into details in a minute. What did you guys think about Sting winning? He basically went through AEW undefeated.
Well, we talked about this on Ramblers Unleashed and during our predictions. I said that I thought the Bucks were going to go over and take home the titles. Right. Because if it is truly Sting's last match, what's he going to do with the titles? So at this point, I don't know the direction that AEW is going to go. I don't know if they are if Sting will have to relinquish the titles, or if Darby Allin will have to be put into some sort of match by himself. I have no idea, but I gotta say, man, props to Darby Allin and props to Sting, because that was a hell of a match. And I was shocked when they brought out the glass. Like when they brought out the glass from underneath the ring and they put it on the 6 chairs on the side of the ring. That was incredible. I said, there's no freaking way. There's no way. And then Darby takes the spot and he was shredded. I mean, that guy was like, he met keys and he met the shredder,
the blood spots just slowly, grew on his back, and they would like slowly zoom in on it, and it's just, oh god, it's a horror it's a horror movie happening live before your eyes. It's just.
Didn't want to go take some ibuprofen, honestly, but it was the main event was really good, and I guess after the pay-per-view went off the air, Sting had more words, but they only had 3 minutes left, and of course the crowd was just going nuts, Yeah. But
I'm sure AEW will put that on their YouTube channel later on tonight. They'll produce it. Media scrums probably happening right now. I noticed they were setting that up right when we were going live here, and typically I would wait, but those go pretty late, and if I was going to get anyone on here with me, there's no way I was going to wait. So
right,
but tune into that at a later time. But thank you, Sting. We got to tune into Dynamite to see what's next. Is Darby going to find a new tag partner? Young Bucks ain't going to go quietly into that good night, let me tell you.
No, they're not. And I think one of the other biggest matches that we have to talk about is the triple threat between Samoa Joe, Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. And you guys let me know that the pages were kind of flipped between Swerve and Adam Page. So apparently Adam Page is the heel now and Swerve is the face.
Which is actually pretty cool because Page has been this white meat babyface since the inception of the company, back in 2019.
Yeah.
So 5 years later, and he's just kind of like this badass cowboy son bitch, and Swerve. Right. Swerve has been one of those organic things where you could tell city by city, even though they hated his character, they hated what he was doing, he would start going, whose house? And Swerve's house.
Yeah.
Swerve's house would get louder and louder and louder and louder. Very, very similar on track to, I'd say, what LA Knight was doing in WWE right now.
Yeah.
Organic like that. It wasn't overnight.
Right.
It happened city by city. Pretty cool when that happens, honestly. That, it's like a grassroots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, slowly you could tell that Swerve was starting to get over with the crowd, But Max, I think you're starting to fall asleep, buddy.
Nope, I'm listening to you. I was waiting to do something though.
Okay, well,
go ahead, bro. What's up?
Go ahead, man.
What?
For the love of God.
What do you got? Some White Castle there? What's that?
Definitely got some White Castle here.
He's always something to eat. I swear to God, he's always, and especially when we're on camera, he's always got something to eat.
As long as you're not crunching chips, as long as it's something soft, it's fine. I'm not gonna kick you out for that.
No
God knows
tonight.
I'm guilty. God knows I'm guilty of that too.
Right.
Yeah, hell of a three-way, triple threat, excuse me, in that
it really was. And Adam Page beating up the ref was the pinnacle of that match when he just beat the ref.
Everyone loves a ref bump.
Oh yeah,
I love Hangman. He's legitimately one of my favorite guys in the business. Did Samoa Joe do his walkaway point though?
Are you talking about like where he's about to get like a high flying move done on him and he walks out of the way?
Yes.
No.
Joe, for one of the first times, Joe, I gotta say, I wasn't impressed with Joe tonight. He really didn't do much.
Joe sat back and let Adam and Swerve pretty much fight it out,
Yeah.
Because this match was all about those two. It really wasn't about Joe. It was about those two and Adam not wanting Swerve to get the title and Joe just trying to stay alive. So it was really more along the lines of Swerve Strickland versus Adam Page instead of the three there. But Joe got his licks in. Joe definitely he proved that he could still do it. I mean, he proved that he is just so badass inside of that ring. And I've been a big fan of Samoa Joe for a long time, but performance wise, this was not the night for Joe. This was not the night for Joe. This was for Swerve and Adam.
This was a night where Samoa Joe used his smarts.
Yeah, he didn't want to get gassed, man, and he knew these two guys were just going to duke it out and get gassed, and he played his cards
at the right time.
Yeah, he played his cards perfectly. So
exactly. Thanks for the love, Polar family. Hell yeah, smash that like button, folks.
Absolutely.
Keeping on that nostalgia train, because God knows Samoa Joe's the world champ, and hey, I ain't complaining. I love me some Samoa Joe. Let's talk about some classic tag team action that happened in the ring We had the Road Warriors show. Oh wait, no, that was the Blackpool Combat Club. Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli show up as the Road Warriors, and FTR doing their best. Arn and Tully coming down to the ring as they always do.
Wasn't that so cool to see?
Oh, dude, it was
nostalgia.
It was thick in the air tonight, so it was just, man,
and
you knew that crowd was going to appreciate some old school.
Oh yeah, But the way that these two teams wrestled, it really took me back to, okay, FTR is really, really diving into that 80s era, that 80s style of wrestling, and Moxley and Moxley and Castagnoli, they were really diving into the way the Road Warriors or LOD were in the ring. And it was a very, very nice tip of the hat to the Four Horsemen and to the Road Warriors or LOD or whatever you want to call them. That was my favorite match too. Of course, I mean it's Jon Moxley. You're never going to go wrong, and if with Jon Moxley, you're always going to see blood. But it was a good match. It really was a good match.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the old school the old school Road Warrior football pads, I'm a little surprised they didn't do face paint. I was a little surprised, but I was like, hey, we got football pads. I'll take what I can get. So, but it did feel like their style, If it was like any other team, I don't think it would have fit. This team, it would have fit. This is a team that's that's clawing and scratching and really trying to make themselves known in this tag team division, and I think they absolutely did tonight.
With Moxley in the mix, their faces were going to be painted red in no time anyway.
Yeah,
this is true.
And honestly, they're just so much fun to watch too, man. They're just a blast to watch. I love the Blackpool Combat Club. I really do. Yeah. What I really want to talk about is Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston. That was a good match too.
Oh hell yeah!
That was a really good match.
That was for the AEW Continental Championship. I got a little confused because Eddie Kingston came out with so many belts. I was like,
no,
three belts, Eddie. Holy shnikes! The guys,
and the weight on those belts, man. I know the weight on those belts, man. I mean, he just carries them like just a champ, pun intended. Yeah. But it was
what he's feeling like, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I loved at the end of the match that they shook hands. I was really happy to see that because they're both ROH guys, so it was really cool to see that.
Well, that was kind of like the story behind this rivalry because Bryan Danielson did not respect Eddie.
Right.
So that's what this whole thing, Eddie's like, I'm going to make you respect me. So at the end of the match, he beat him, he shook his hand. That really, it's a good end to this story, Yeah. That's how you put the period at the end of this one. That's great.
Right. Another good match that we talked about on Ramblers Unleashed, man. It was Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo. That was a good match. It was interesting to see, and I don't know who.
Oh, Brian May.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that she came out as an old Toni Storm, but it was a good match. It didn't go the way that I wanted it to.
She's timeless.
Yeah, well, I think, and we talked about this, and I mentioned that I really wanted to see Deonna Purrazzo win, the gold, because I think she could set a fire underneath the women's division, because they desperately need that. The dark match between Julia Hart and Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale and Kris Statlander. That was a botch fest, man. It really was just a botch fest. It was lackluster. It was just not good, in my opinion. And Sky Blue is a really talented wrestler. It's just she doesn't have. So is Julia Hart, and Kris Statlander is too. I think the problem, honestly, was Willow Nightingale in that match.
She might have had an off night. I missed the pre-show, so all I know is that the bang. What do they call it? The Bang Bang
Scissor Gang.
Thank you. The Bang Bang Scissor Gang came out there, and it looks like Jay White cut a promo at the end of their thing. So something's going to happen soon with him. I don't know if he's going to have to put a title on the line or go for some different gold or something. Something's going to happen. And
I saw something pop up earlier on that after he cut that promo. I saw something pop up earlier on that, but we'll have to see. Maybe we'll recap it on Ramblers Unleashed.
Yeah.
But overall, though, this was a good pay-per-view. I mean, it really was. It was it was one of the biggest nights for AEW, and it was something that they needed to do because, I think the fans were kind of quiet at the show tonight until staying and.
Well, they knew they had to pay. They knew they had to pace themselves. These ain't short shows. They had a 2-hour pre-show, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I know.
Running down the card, and then they had some matches. One thing we got to talk about before we get out of here, the return. Well, first of all, Roderick Strong defeating Orange Cassidy to win the AEW International Championship.
Shout out to Cassidy, man.
What's that?
I said shout out to Orange Cassidy. That guy is a tank. He was. Are his ribs broken?
No, he's been practically defending the belt almost every week for God knows how many weeks in a row.
But he was in pain. I mean, he was in pain.
It's gotten to the point now where it's like, yeah, he probably is banged up. Yeah, he probably is freaking tired. He needs a break. Have him drop the title to someone who's really freaking good, like Roderick Strong. Another veteran in the biz that is great,
and he's fresh.
He's fresh out of WWE. I'll say that.
Yeah, but he's also fresh that he can carry the title and defend it. So Max, I'm sorry,
I can't help but feel like he's over here making fun of our tribal chief when he points out that Orange Cassidy has defended that belt pretty much every week for as far back as he can remember. What are you saying? Are you saying the tribal chief should show up and defend his title more often than once every 3 months?
Well, yeah, every 6 months would be nice.
Yeah, something.
Jiminy Christmas.
And I'm sorry to invoke the other company. I felt the joke had to be made. Orange Cassidy has long been another one of my favorite guys. He's a unique guy in that ring, and he can take a beating.
Yeah,
really. I mean, he proved that tonight. I mean, backbreaker after backbreaker from Roderick Strong, and there was even a bump off of the wasn't there a bump off of the top rope that really set him? I mean, you could really see that he was in pain.
It was very similar. It was very similar to what Ospreay took.
Yeah,
it was ugly.
Yeah, it was not. It was not pretty at all. But like I said, shout out to Orange Cassidy, who you could definitely tell he loves this business. And
Yeah.
he reminds me of Darby Allin. He's not afraid to take bumps. He's not afraid to take chances. There was one point in the match where Orange couldn't even get up. He couldn't even stand up. So it's even with with the ropes, trying holding the ropes as support, and those ropes were so tight. Taz even mentioned that tonight, that the ropes were just so incredibly tight and wet and just not a good place to land on.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag freshly squeezed.
Yeah. Thoughts on Kyle O'Reilly showing up at the end of the match, surprising everyone?
That's interesting. I'm interested to see. Now, I did read somewhere that the reason he didn't join the Undisputed Kingdom is they're going to work on his character. They're going to figure out what they can do with him.
Which is good. He probably wants to do
even
something different.
Well, the company didn't even know if he was going to come back or not, because he had that injury.
Yeah, he's messed up for the longest time. But he's also been tied to Adam Cole for so long. It'll be good to see him do something different.
Yeah. And I really thought, and not to rewind or anything, but the Takeshita and Ospreay match, I really thought there was going to be some sort of a turn. I thought Will Ospreay was going to leave the Don Callis family and go face, because technically he is a face now. He came on Dynamite. He cut that promo. It was very face promo, and
he's so popular.
Oh yeah, and he and Takeshita had that moment in the ring, and I really thought that maybe, okay, this is going to be a face. We're going to see a face Will Ospreay, but I don't know now. I don't know what we're going to see out of Ospreay. It's going to be interesting to watch Dynamite on Wednesday night on TBS to see the follow up on everything and how they're going to go forward. With everything that happened tonight, how they're going to proceed forward.
Well, we know that Kyle Fletcher's going to wrestle him on Wednesday night. So following that, we may see depending on how it ends, we may see the Don Callis family turn on Will and send him packing. We'll see what happens.
It's a good call.
It's kind of predictable, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's a good call though. But yeah, Dynamite's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Just to see what happens. I really hope that Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo continue this feud that they have, because it's a good feud that they have going on right now.
Oh yeah, who doesn't want to see those two square off again? Jeez Louise,
God, yeah.
That's a classic.
And I'm ready for St. Louis. Bring it on. I am so ready for that pay-per-view. I may even try to get some tickets. I don't know.
Shit, I might even have to make a road trip.
I know, man.
That'd be a lot of fun, eh?
And I was just thinking about that tonight. I'm sorry, Max. I was just thinking about that tonight. I feel like Taz walking all over everybody. I was thinking about that. I said, I don't know if AEW. I know that there's been pay-per-views in St. Louis for WWE or WWF or whatever, but I don't know if AEW have they had a pay-per-view in St. Louis before?
Oh, yeah.
Have they?
Yeah, they've been there a lot more. They've been to Milwaukee once. They've been to Chicago a bunch of times. They've been to St. Louis at least a handful of times. Yeah.
Max, have they ever hosted one in Colorado? Pay-per-view for AEW?
I can't think of one from AEW, and as far as WWE, it's been a while since they've done one themselves.
Yeah. But that'll be interesting to see. I'm definitely gonna have to try to rally up the Baron and see if he wants to get some tickets and J-Bone a few.
I bet he will.
Down. Oh, I bet he will too. Because that'll be my first wrestling. That'll be my first wrestling event in a very, very long time, which will be a lot of fun. But I'm excited, man. Let's go. St. Louis, bring it on.
Dynasty.
I just found a list of all of AEW's pay-per-views, and not one of them took place in Colorado.
Wow. Okay. So there's still yet to come. There's still yet to come. But overall, go ahead.
I was going to say, any final thoughts on? I know we didn't talk about Christian, but he won. Whatever. It's like,
yeah. There's really, I mean, there's what's left for Christian. I mean, I thought we were going to see more of a prolonged beef with Adam Copeland. I really thought that was going to be drug out a little further and really build that story. And I know that they started to build the story, and I was getting invested in it, but now it's just, where the hell is he? You know, is he injured? Is he? I don't think he's injured.
I didn't watch for a few weeks, so I don't know what's going on with the old Adam Copeland.
But I just don't know. I just don't know where else they're going to take this story. I really don't. Who else is he going to adopt? You know, who else is Christian going to adopt? And who else is I mean, for real, who else is he going to feud with? And you know, if he says, "Hey, I want to adopt you," and the guy says no, I mean, there's a feud, I guess.
Who's
I don't want you as my daddy, but I want your title.
I think his next feud is with TK's coke dealer.
what's the next mom he's gonna bang? You know?
Man, Nick Wayne's mom is so hot, though. She is so hot.
Man, the look she gives him, I'm like, man, if there ain't something going on there.
I know. What is his wife at home not knowing about this?
Oh, I'm sure she knows
really.
everything.
And can we talk about when Daddy Magic came out? Can we just talk about that real quick? So Daddy Magic came out.
Oh, he was taking care of Killswitch.
He was taking care of Killswitch, so he took care of him. And then all of a sudden, Nick Wayne's mom, and I can't think of her name right off the bat, but she came up and she started just staring at Daddy Magic, and he's just like, what? And she winked, and she started to slap him. And the slap was weird, man. Like, the slap went down towards his chin, and then he grabbed her hand and put it next to his face, like, this is where you're supposed to smack me, but I'm going to drag your hand over here now because you're not going to do it. Like, I'm not going to.
It was awkward because she's so much taller than him. So it you know, her coming down and him trying to, like, you know, defend himself probably just came off a little awkward.
Yeah. Something. So, there were quite a bit of botches though tonight, and it happens. I mean, nobody's perfect, but you know, it is what it is.
Even Max Caster botched his own rap.
It's not the first time, and it won't be the last.
Yeah.
It's okay. But, we still love him.
Should we rate this pay-per-view?
I don't typically, but you can if you want. What do you talk about? Like out of like
a 10, like out of 10. What would you give? What would you give it, J-Bone?
I would give this one. I'd give this one an 8. I don't think there's a whole lot more you could do to this to like make it better. Honestly, it was damn good, very memorable. It's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be one of the best shows you're gonna see this year. Honestly, very complete.
Max, were you able to watch the pay-per-view at all?
No, all I got was from you guys as you were watching it, and that's fine. But I will say this: scissor me, daddy ass, scissor me.
You know, I will say that this definitely was one for the books. With the retirement of Sting and the vignette on Sting in the theater and going over his career, that was just so cool to see. And there's
Those
a bunch
highlights
of
were
other,
nice.
yeah, and there's a bunch of other content too on AEW's Facebook page, and it really kind of made me sad because they were not able to tap into his WCW days. That kind of made me sad. There were pictures that I'm sure Sting had from his WCW days that he shared,
Yeah.
but that the other company doesn't freaking own. But it was really kind of surreal that, wow, they just, they wanted to. I'm sure they would have, if they had the proper approval. But
I mean, it was some really quick like B-roll footage, like
yeah,
entrances and stuff like that. It was
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
yeah.
They sprinkled in some different stuff, and then they showed I can't remember if they showed any TNA in there. Speaking of TNA, you guys want to see a few hours of some great nostalgia. TNA put a compilation of Sting's greatest moments in their company in the 2000s on their YouTube channel. Very cool. I was watching part of that today.
Yeah.
All right, we'll review that after we finish reviewing ECW.
All righty then. Wait, was Sting in ECW? No. I don't
No.
think so.
No.
Okay.
No. But no, I don't remember seeing any TNA footage in the vignette for Sting and Skater, but it was kind of cool to see the footage that we've never seen, though. Honestly,
Yeah.
outside, when he worked in other promotions and things of that nature, so that was kind of neat. As far as a rating goes for this pay-per-view, and I mean, I guess I'd go maybe 8.5, 9 stars out of 10, because this was memorable, because this was a big night for not only Sting, but it was a big night for AEW. And I really think that they pulled it off. As the attendance was there. They were 16,000 strong. I think it was sold out. And the matches of the evening, of course, the Sting match, Ospreay and Takeshita, Samoa Joe, Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, Tony Storm, Deonna Purrazzo. Those matches just really stole the show, and I think that's where my rating comes in at. So it was a really solid pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it. There were some moments where I was at the edge of my seat too, so it was good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the rest, you see, that's what I love. I mean, people talk about sometimes the storytelling ain't always there with AEW, but I tell you what, man, you're always going to get some, so.
Yeah. I feel
no doubt about that. Well,
except for that death match thing they did a while back.
Yeah. J-Bone, I think you're frozen, buddy.
Ooh, J-Bone. Hi.
J-Bone. Hello.
Hello. How many fingers am I holding up, J-Bone?
Right. What am I doing now, J-Bone? Well, I don't know what J-Bone is doing. But anyway, let's take a moment to plug our stuff. So we are all part of a show called Ramblers Unleashed, which is on YouTube, youtube.com, and just search for Ramblers Unleashed. We'd really appreciate it if you would go give us a subscribe. We're on around 1 o'clock every Saturday afternoon. And I say around 1 o'clock because, it could be 105, 110, 130, 145. But I tell you what you can do to always stay in the know, to get notifications for when we're on the air. Hit the subscribe button and then smash that bell icon, and then boom, you're in the know. And I believe that is that. You can also follow us on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed. You can follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at The Ramblers Pod. Max Magus, they can follow you at...
You can follow me at Max Magus on Twitter. I don't care what anybody says. It's still Twitter. And you can follow my other podcast, which is a bunch of nerd stuff, at Our Shots Podcast.
There you go. There you go. Beautiful. Cheap plug. I love him. I love cheap plugs. But
our friend that vanished is at JBone5150 if you want to follow him.
Yep. And our other good friend, our good brother, is the Baron. You can follow him on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's. So,
it's Twitter.
Well, I mean, it's X, but you know, it is what it is. X, formerly known as Twitter. But this is, I gotta say, man, this is kind of awkward now that J-Bone's out of the conversation. And
he just kind of froze up and vanished.
On his podcast. Oh, he just sent a message over. Hang on just 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. If boys and girls, Diz, you can end the show if you can. Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and end the show. Make sure that you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that bell to get more notifications for Smash this podcast. And make sure you follow Ramblers Unleashed, where we will dive in more to this pay-per-view, and we'll dive into some news and other things that come up. Hopefully no more deaths. The trifecta was just enough for us. So with the passing of Virgil and Ole Anderson and Paul Vachon, and so hopefully no more sadness. It's all happy go lucky.
You know, I really thought this was Virgil trying to get money out of us again.
I know.
I feel like an ass for thinking that too.
I know. But all right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for Smash This podcast. And that's Max Magus. I'm Dizzy. And for J-Bone, we wish you a very, very good night. Have a good night.
I guess it's just me now. He kind of left me. They left me unsupervised. Can you believe that? Well, what do you want to talk about? There's got to be something we can talk about, right? Let's see here. I was trying to find us, see what's going on over here, but I don't see it. There we go. Found what I'm looking for. This is what I'm trying to find. Yep, still just me. All right. Let's see. What can I do?
Sorry about that, folks. I really hate it when that happens. Uh, um, but hey, thank you to all who joined tonight. Really appreciate it. Hey, sometimes glitches happen in the old internet, so that's what happened tonight. Unfortunately, sure, trying to keep the show afloat, and this is what happens. Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? But nonetheless, thank you to Diz and thank you to Max for coming in tonight and helping me go over some highlights of tonight's AEW Revolution. Thank you for everyone who joined me live in the chat, and we'll be back soon. All right. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend going into this week. Hope you all have a tremendous one. Take care, folks. We'll see you soon.